Well, I know this isn't a traditional trailer, and yes, I am feeling a little bit better. So this is the wonderful You're a Good Sport, Charlie Brown. I just watched this today. I actually bought this DVD on eBay, and I've held on to it for a while. But since we had the holiday season, holiday movies come first. Unfortunately, this little gem comes right on New Year's Day. So I will review this if you have not seen it yet. This was the first time I watched it. So I will do a review of this right after this.
Recently, we compared two superheroes, Dashing Super Guy and Kirby from Nintendo. In some ways, Kirby lost big. No big hair, no big muscles, no weapons, nothing. All Kirby's got is appetite. Kirby's Dream Land, the thrilling adventure game on Game Boy. Kirby munches, spits back, and floats, saving glorious Dreamland. He's Kirby, and he packs a mean bite. Kirby's Dream Land, only on Game Boy.
So this is your A Good Sport, Charlie Brown. And I did hope you enjoy that wonderful Kirby commercial. I got questions right off the bat. Why is he white, not pink? I think the color of Kirby may have come out after Kirby's Adventure for the regular Nintendo. The Game Boy game may have been first. I'm not exactly a Nintendo expert, even though it is one of my favorite systems of all time. So, yes, kids, if you are a younger audience, which I just learned that I do not have that following, my audience is a little bit older than the age of 25. But just in case they are watching this with their parents, this was our Game Boy. It was black and white, no color. So this is what, well, it's what we had, and Game Gear went to color, and it was a flop. So obviously, people didn't care that much. The games were apparently very, very cool, and I did not get a Game Boy until much later in life. Uh, my brother got his when he was, I think, 12. So it took us a while to get a Game Boy. No, I got the Game Boy, I got the 3DS. So mine was several years later. I was in my high 20s when I got a Game Boy because I didn't really want one that bad. I didn't like handheld video games. I preferred listening to music. Yeah, so that's my little story there. I was probably one of the few that could have cared less about handheld gaming. So now moving on to, oh yes, and I have a guest. Mr. Itchy Ear Skip is with me, and I think his head perked up because he sees Snoopy on the TV screen. He is probably a huge Snoopy fan, and he is probably his hero because Snoopy can do several things that Skip cannot, and walking is one of them. So I'm going to give. No, he trots now. Um, so this apparently came out in 1975. The music also says that as well. I will get the composer's name in just a minute. Um, I will remember it eventually. This was, of course, directed by Bill Melendez, and of course, the characters were written by the very talented Charles Schultz. So, Charlie Brown, of course, he was voiced by Duncan Watson, which this was really the only thing he did. Lucy was, I'll get her name back. I think it's Margaret Cohn. I'll have to go to my cheat sheet since I really don't know the. Oh, sorry, Melanie Cohn, and Stuart Brotman is Peppermint Patty, and also Jimmy Aarons is Marcy. Gail Davis is Sally. Liam Martin is Linus, and Bill Melendez had the very fun job of voicing Snoopy. Yeah. Oh, and there's also another director in here too. Phil Roman is also the other director with Bill Melendez. The story here, it does open up with Snoopy playing tennis by himself. He thinks he's smart by having the machine, and obviously that kind of blows up in his face. So Linus and Sally are going to play tennis, and Well, Linus doesn't like the fact that there are big kids on the tennis court, so he starts complaining about that right off the bat. I think it's because he doesn't have his blanket with him. So, of course, Sally's with him, and they really want the big kids off. Snoopy just doesn't care. He has his little bag, has his outfit, gets his ball ready, and he's just all set to play. He doesn't care about the big kids on the tennis court. So it does open up with Snoopy playing a tennis game. I'm not going to tell you who he's playing against because that will be the first clip. And then how this opens up is there is a dirt bike race, and the winner gets a ticket to the Pro Bowl game. What a prize that was. So they were just giving those tickets away back then, too. Interesting. I wonder where the Pro Bowl was in 1975. I should have looked that up. So anyway, so they have to get these bikes that are affordable that kids can afford. So they must have went to the used plus section. So they got their bikes and everybody participates. Of course, you get Charlie Brown. Lucy, of course, typical Lucy is a spectator. So she likes to criticize Charlie Brown. That's what she does best. Snoopy does participate. That's nothing new. And I believe Marcy and Peppermint Patty does. Oh, no, that's right. I'm sorry. Marcy is the sideline reporter, I guess. Peppermint Patty does participate. So we'll see what happens there. So the Pro Bowl is the main prize here. So how they get the dirt bike is also entertaining as well. And of course, Snoopy has his little sarcasm in there. He likes to laugh at people messing up and making mistakes. So now I will show the first clip of little Snoopy Agassi in just a second.
Play. Love 30. First game, Snoopy. Love 30.
So this was the first clip, and we did miss the part here, unfortunately, with Snoopy. Well, he had a foot fault, so when your foot crosses the line, yeah, you can't do that. So unfortunately, he faulted twice. So he had to toss the ball back. But before he did that, he threw a temper tantrum and actually ended up hitting his own foot with the racket. So it is pure frustration at this point, and I can understand it can be a frustrating game, especially when you make two errors like that. So after this little match here, you will see who he faced during this little tennis match and who he lost to. So Peppermint Patty has some news, so I will show that clip in just a second.
We're having a real motocross, and I'm recruiting guys like you to enter. It's for charity, and the winner's gonna get a great prize. A good athlete like you just can't turn down such a challenge. Get yourself a bike, Snoop old boy, and we'll see you at the races.
So the composer for this, I'm sorry, it is Vince Guaraldi. I hope I pronounced that correctly. It's This was very typical for the 1970s, which I was told to have this type of music in there. So at least we did not have the composer of Yanni. I think that Charles Schultz would have a big problem with that no talent clown composing in his wonderful cartoons. So so now he's just a I guess he was a composer with a lot of synthesizers. VG Bus actually did a video ripping him apart, and their video was taken down. I didn't think a Yanni video would get deleted that fast, so I couldn't believe it. So anyways, so yes, so they're gonna do this little dirt bike competition competition race. So so they are almost all set with it. Linus is going to be part of Charlie Brown's pit crew. Wouldn't that be funny if Snoopy drove by and took Linus's blanket and started wiping all the grease off of Charlie Brown's dirt bike with it? Could you imagine the look on Linus's face if Snoopy actually? That would be. I should have written that joke in to Charles Schultz if I was born around that time. That would have been amusing. So now they have to empty out both their piggy banks to get dirt bikes. I wonder how much they are actually going to spend on one. So let's find out. I'm sure they are at Bert's Bikes right now, picking out their wonderful bike.
Or this one! Or, I hate to tell you this, Charlie Brown, but this is all we can afford. Do you think it runs? I think even if it walks, we'll be money ahead.
Well, so these are the bikes they get, and of course, Charlie Brown asks, "Do they work?" Well, these probably work better than Ford Pintos, but or Ford Tempos for that matter. That's what I meant to say. So obviously they're not in the greatest condition, but they all seem to have the exact same bike. When they turn them on, they pretty much go all up in flames. So it does happen. This is I bet these haven't been maintained. Like, if you don't maintain a snowblower and you go up in flames, this is very similar. And these are the bikes that they ended up pretty much buying. Probably bikes that had old oil in it, old gas. So this is what they got, old tires. So this is what they all have. So they're all competing with these really tires. So they're all pretty much going with all these junky bikes. So it is the junk competition. It's got to be more exciting than NASCAR. I would rather watch this than Dale Earnhardt Jr. Start saying nonsense. So I will now show the next clip of Peppermint Patty pretty much getting very, very excited about this race. So there's also a Mask Marvel. So we get to see who that is. So I will show that clip in just a second.
See, look at that! Old Chuck Brown is in my heat. And look at this. Some kid calls himself the Masked Marvel. Boy, this is great. Chuck will be no problem to me. And this Masked Marvel sounds like a joke. Come on, kids. Let's get to the bikes and get ready.
This is Peppermint Patty. She seems to be pretty. She seems to be ready to already accept the grand prize, which is actually to the Pro Bowl in 1975 was actually in Miami, Florida. It was in the Orange Bowl. So not a bad deal. I know that tickets were probably they were pretty easy to get when they were in Hawaii. They just wouldn't pay for your ticket. That was the catch. So so now after all this, Marcy is now doing some interviewing. You be the judge. I think she's much less annoying and better than Tracy Wolfson, that's on CBS. So I will show that clip in just a second.
It's sunny, sir. They just handed me this microphone and told me to do the interviews for the race. Well, great. Go to it. You can do it. Don't be nervous. In fact, I'll be your first interview. Thank you, sir. I'm supposed to start right now. Okay, shoot. And don't worry, I'll make it look good. Okay, sir. This is Marcy in the pit area. We're going to talk to some of the contestants. Hi, sir. I see you have an interesting bike there. Care to let the fans in on your strategy? Hey, well, now that's very interesting. I'm sure you'll stick to the leaders and pace yourself. So,
Well, I did think she was better than Tracy Wolfson, but if you notice that she just cut off Peppermint Patty immediately, and she pretty much did the same thing with the Mask Marvel and Charlie Brown as well. So that is pretty much the interviewing for this wonderful race. So now that the race is on, um, it there's already an accident pretty much right from the start. So we will see what happens right after in just a second.
Charlie Brown and the Masked Marvel wiped out. Here comes the ambulance. My big brother lost his helmet. The ambulance has picked up Charlie Brown and the Masked Marvel. Hey, what's this? They put me at the vet. They put me at the vet. Let's see.
So this part here, they both wipe out, and obviously the question I got was, why did Charlie Brown get dropped off at the vet, and why did Snoopy go to the hospital? Well, I don't know the answer, but it's really funny. Um, I thought this was comedy at its best. Snoopy is enjoying himself. It looks like he has his own little VIP area. So, first of all, he's reading a play dog, and that's not a joke. If you rewind the clip, hopefully we got it. It actually says Play Dog Magazine right there. This is not one of my jokes. I wish it was. Um, and then, of course, Charlie Brown wakes up and he finds out he's at the vet. Um, this may have not been a mistake. They really they really might have just put whiny Charlie in the vet just because that's how he is. He would be a miserable patient in the hospital. So obviously, then Charlie Brown goes to the hospital, interrupts Snoopy's huge gourmet VIP meal, and drags him back to the motocross. I don't think Snoopy could have cared less about the motocross at at this time. Um, I think he's mad that he has to be dragged back to the actual race. So now Charlie Brown has to get a new helmet, and hopefully I get what it is. I don't want to spoil it for you, so I will show it in the next clip.
You're doing great, Charlie Brown. Boy, it's hot out there. Come on, big brother. Don't let us down. You can do it. I know you can do it.
So this is Charlie Brown's new helmet. It is a pumpkin head. If Charlie Brown's name was John, he would be a bald and very whiny person, so he would not tolerate this pumpkin on his bald, stupid head. So what makes it even worse here is his sister Sally sees that he's hot. Of course, he complains about the heat, and it's probably a nice, comfortable 68 degrees as well. So, and what does she do? She pours a glass of lemonade and drinks it herself. So so poor old Charles there doesn't even get lemonade from his own sister, which I thought was absolutely hilarious. So I did miss some parts apparently when I watched this earlier today. I forgot watching these. They're pretty much over in a blink of an eye, and that is really my only gripe with these. Um, So, so what ends up happening here is I completely miss this, but Snoopy decides to get a little bit cocky, and he starts celebrating and doing flips with his bike. But you got to remember, these were purchased at probably a 25-cent store. These bikes are in horrible condition. They are in like Artie Lang condition. They are going to collapse at any moment. So now let's see what happens. Let's see how Snoopy solves his little issue here. He's not Richard Lewis. So he turns his problem into just a situation, and this ends up being a very funny clip. So I will show that in just a second. So a couple parts here that were pretty amusing. So he uses his little tennis ball machine to. So this will be his motocross vehicle, which I don't know if this was fair because that thing obviously runs better than most of the bikes, except when they go in the mud puddle. But that's obviously later on. So he launches tennis balls at Charlie Brown. Which was, again, if Charlie's name was John, he'd be throwing a fit, but he would have fallen off the bike as well. So I like to call Charlie John because everything is a problem. And everybody's name that is associated with John is a problem. So he's getting balls thrown at him. But not only that, Snoopy is so confident that he is going to win this thing, he pulls over to have a picnic. So I'm glad that that's not a Crackus ham. I'm sure Snoopy only gets the best. Crackus is probably one of the junkier brands you can buy. So he does hear the wonderful bad quality bikes coming at him, so he does know that he has to pack up his food and move along quickly. So now, after all this, somebody does win the race. I'm going to show you who that is in just a second. And we will see let's see how excited the winner is to get the Pro Bowl prize. So I will show that clip in just a second.
That's what it is, fans. Sheer modesty. Ah, here she is, the queen of the motocross. Fans, the queen will make the presentation to the winner of this great event, Queen Loretta. Here is your prize, a gift certificate for 5 haircuts. Haircuts? You couldn't get you the Pro Bowl tickets, Charles, so we got you 5 free haircuts.
But my dad's a barber, and besides, I don't have much hair to cut.
There you have it, fans. A dramatic coincidence. Charles.
Well, this was the final clip, so he did win the prize here. I guess his dad is a barber, so we did not get the Pro Bowl tickets. I also have to look up to see how much the tickets were back then, because like I said, back in my day, you can actually win tickets in football cards. So this was the like I said, this is the final clip. So now I will do my review. So poor Charles comes in first, and obviously he doesn't have much hair to cut. So those 5 free haircuts are going to be pretty much toilet paper. So he can give it to Pigpen to absorb all of his dirt. But so anyways, going back to the review, this was a very, very funny cartoon. This was apparently on season 1, episode 14. And I don't know what streaming service you can get this on, but I do highly recommend it. This definitely gets a strong A- in my book. This was this might be one of my favorite Charlie Brown cartoons. I thought it was absolutely hilarious. Not quite as good as the Magic Show one, but pretty close. So this is one I do recommend buying on eBay because it was $4.50, and it also comes with another Charlie Brown cartoon, which I will be reviewing right after this because they both go hand in hand. They are very similar, even though the other one came out years later. So, comment below, subscribe if you want, and thank you very much for watching. And comment below if you have seen this one before. I'm very interested. I will see you next time.